Thank you, Rod. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Winnipeg as we approach the Labor Day weekend. Calgary's got Edmonton ahead. Winnipeg's got Saskatchewan, but first they've got each other. Calgary comes in at 6-2. Winnipeg at 3-5, coming off a bye week and a loss the week before that to Toronto.
There he is. You're looking at him. Robert Marv, the entire province of Manitoba, the city of Winnipeg, is hoping that this young quarterback can pan out. He's got a full week of reps under his belt, and he's raring to go. On the other side, Matt Walter, coming off a career-high 20 carries, 110 yards last week, fighting a bit of the flu tonight, so we're going to keep an eye on him.
Calgary coming off a 34-31 win in Saskatchewan. The defending Grey Cup champions. John Hufnagel now in his 8th year as the coach and general manager of this franchise. And for Michael O'Shea, the bye week gave his team some rest and then a work week this week to try to make up for that loss to Toronto, which they once again coughed up a lead in the first meeting this year. Winnipeg led 16-0, 10 minutes into the game, but lost 26-25. Calgary won the toss, elected to receive. Tim Brown and Troy Harrison are back to receive. And here is Brown from the 10-yard line. With Troy Harrison in front of him. Brown bounces off a tackle and gets up to the 37, and that's where Bo Levi Mitchell and the Calgary offense will go to work.
A lot of talk about this kid's start in his first couple seasons in Calgary. It's 21-4. Only second Jackie Parker. Stolen the rock right there to Eric Rogers, a touchdown machine. Big target, and Matt Walter, we talked about him. Keep an eye on him. Like I said, he's under the weather a little bit tonight, but looking to improve on his career best last week, 110 yards rushing.
Calgary has not scored a touchdown on its opening possession yet this season. First down from the 36. Bo Levi Mitchell up and throwing. He's got a man. The pass is caught. And who else? Eric Rogers makes the grab at the Winnipeg 36-yard line for a gain of 38 yards.
This is a flat-out go. Pitch and catch. They did it in warm-ups, and they do it here to start the football game. Just straight-up fly pattern. Run by the defender, and Bo Levi spots it well on the outside shoulder of the big target, and he pulls it down. They've been doing it all season long. Great combination. Picking up where they left off from last year.
And on first down, the give goes to Torrey Harrison, and Harrison slashes off tackle for a gain of 5.
Yeah, Winnipeg Blue Bombers defense, they feel like they've got to step up here and possibly win a game for this football team and have the back of the young quarterback. Sam Hurl's in the middle. Mike O'Shea, head coach, can't say enough about him. Jamal Westerman, national playing rush end, is phenomenal. Khalil Bass playing the weak side linebacker position is having a phenomenal football season.
2nd and 5, Mitchell in the shotgun. Quick throw, and it's caught by the fullback, Rob Cote, and Cote makes a run right for the first down marker. And they'll mark him down at the 26-yard line, so he'll be right there.
Yeah, Bo Levi coming right at you. You know, I talked about Matt Walters being a little under the weather. Rob Cote is as well. Both these guys battling flu-like symptoms before the game, not feeling well at all. And battling through it right now.
This is a Calgary team, of course, without star running back John Cornish, a team that has dressed 10 different offensive linemen in games this year, has 5 on injured reserve right now.
You know, a lot of people talks about their injuries and, you know, and how it affects them. Well, Calgary just seems to keep rolling at 6-2. They haven't blinked once this football season. Rob Cote taking a picture, looking at him right there. This guy's a specialist football team because he plays a lot on special teams, makes all the calls for special teams coach Mark Killam. And if he can't go, look for Jerron Mayo to step in his spot. Both these guys are valuable on both sides of the football in many capacities for this football team. Rob Cote and Matt Walter.
Brian Moniz comes in for the short yardage team. It's 3rd and about a foot for Calgary. Flags come down. Moniz dives across the 25-yard line and then gets thrown down hard at the end of the play as he tangled there with Jamal Westerman. And flag appears to be against Winnipeg, which will be an automatic first down for Calgary.
Yeah, just possibly just lining up offsides.
Offside. Winnipeg, number 92. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Bryant Turner, who missed 4 games this year to injury, back in the Winnipeg lineup.
Yeah, I'm thinking, just maybe a hands over the line here. It's about all I can see at this point from that angle. Regardless, first down and drives a lot.
From the 21-yard line. Again from a shotgun. Goalie by Mitchell. A little crossing route. Greg Wilson's got it. Gets away from the first tackle. Now Wilson inside the 10. Finally pushed out of bounds to the 9-yard line. It's a gain of 12 yards and another Calgary first down.
Greg Wilson, they talk a lot about his speed. He'll be coming across the formation. I believe he's coming right underneath here like this. Bo Levi's looking downfield first. He doesn't have Harrison as clean as he wants on the linebackers. He throws underneath, and the speed of Wilson gets him the first down inside the 10-yard line.
Calgary hasn't been great in the red zone so far this year. Just over 50% when they get inside the 20. Now first and goal from the 9. Mitchell to Eric Rogers in the end zone. It's intercepted, picked off by Matt Buckner. Buckner thinks about bringing it out and finally does sit down, and so the drive is snuffed out on Matt Buckner's first pick of the year, and it's a big one. He takes it away from the CFL's leading touchdown catcher. No score here in the first quarter. The CFL on TSN returns to Winnipeg after this.
There he is right there, Matt Buckner, Hamilton native, first of the season. Real simple play for him. He's going to drop back in, looking in at the quarterback like this. Nobody is in this area out here, so he's afforded to fall back underneath it. Bo Levi Mitchell never takes his eyes off the corner route, never sees Matt Buckner, and it's a gift for him, taking points off the board.
Now 26-year-old Robert Marv at the controls, his second start for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. With a full week of practice, Marv up and throwing, caught by Nick Moore, and Moore's got 8 out to the 33-yard line.
A lot of talk about the young quarterback, Robert Marv, and they're excited about him. Mike O'Shea just 3 weeks ago wouldn't say much about him. Now you can't say enough about him. This kid has got a lot of enthusiasm and athleticism go along with it. He's going to have to rely on a running game, and Cameron Marshall and Justin Veltung, an explosive football player, once again needs to see the football get this offense rolling.
Cameron Marshall with a second down carry, and Marshall fights his way to the 35-yard line. Close to Winnipeg first down for Robert Marv. His first career start came 2 weeks ago against Toronto. But a short week for Winnipeg was further complicated by bad weather. Rain washed out one of their 2 practices. He only had a half a practice to prepare for his first start.
Yeah, anybody who's played the position or understands football or athletics in of itself, it's all about repetition. Whether you're shooting free throws, where you're making chips, from the rough, or whatever it may be. Reps are important, and Robert Marv just didn't have reps in his first start, plus he was under weather. Now he's got a full week of preparation, a lot of time with his offensive coordinator. He feels more relaxed tonight.
Third and short, Winnipeg gambling from its 35-yard line. And Marv takes it straight ahead. He'll move the sticks.
I highlighted a couple of Calgary defenders here that I absolutely love, and they're part of the 4 horsemen. I'm talking about Juwan Simpson and Keon Rame in your middle, and your strong side linebacker, Brandon Smith and Charleston Hughes, who's out of lineup tonight, are the other 2 parts for the 4 horsemen. And then, boy, Freddie Bishop, he gets after the quarterback, and he's basically trying to fill in and pick up some of the slack from Charleston Hughes being out of the lineup.
First down, Bombers from their 36-yard line. And again, Cameron Marshall with the carry, got spun around very quickly there as Micah Johnson got a hand on him, and it's a loss of 1 on the play.
I don't know if it's possible. Michael Johnson looks like he got bigger over the offseason. He just absolutely a behemoth in the middle, and he plugged that up nicely. Just squashing any type of run or in the middle of that offense.
Winnipeg last in the league in points scored by their offense, under 18 points a game, and also last in yards per game offensively. Second and 11 now, and 5 receivers in for the Bombers. 3-man rush by Calgary. Marv steps up and throws, and it's caught by Clarence Denmark. A first down at the Winnipeg 50-yard line. Pick up of 15 yards.
Yeah, this is pretty right here. They only rush 3, Calgary does, and Robert Marsh steps up in a really soft pocket. You can just watch the 3 defenders, 1, 2, and 3, and then he's got plenty of time to throw. He looks right, steps up in a little lane, throws a strike, moving the chains.
From the 50. Maher fires again, and again the catch is made by Denmark close to midfield, a gain of 6.
Yeah, Denmark really kind of down in the mouth a bit. You know, hadn't seen the football over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and you know, this is a guy that prides himself in being the best on this football team and the go-to guy. And there's his numbers over the last 3 games, just 12 catches.
And his only touchdown reception of the year, Matt, in the first meeting against Calgary.
Yeah, it's just numbers are limited the last little while here, and it's good to see him getting involved early.
On 2nd and 4, here comes the rush. Marv under pressure runs away, trying to find someone open. Throw, picked off. Keon Raymond, and Keon Raymond might go, being chased down by Clarence Denmark. And Raymond thrown down the 6-yard line on the tackle made by Clarence Denmark. A 49-yard return, but another pick thrown by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And the Calgary Stampeders will be in business when the CFL on TSN returns. Right after this, Keon Raymond took one back for a touchdown in the first game of the year against Hamilton. Almost had one there.
Well, it's Queens and Bishops getting after it. Wiggins and Turner just collapse in the pocket right in the middle of your screen. Turner on the outside, Wiggins in the middle, flushes Marv. He rolls to the right and does Cardinalson. Throws back across his body, and Keon Raymond says, "Thank you very much." That's his 10th or 22nd career interception, 2nd of the season. Almost had his 6th pick 6. Talking about it before the ball game, Clarence Denmark ran him down.
First and goal, Calgary from the 6. Mitchell to the end zone. Touchdown. Torrey Harrison has the grab. His 3rd receiving touchdown of the year, and it takes Calgary 1 play to take advantage of the Keon Raymond interception.
He had 2 last week. Receptions for touchdowns. Got another one here. This is one-on-one matchup. He's coming out of the backfield, coming just like this. There he is, sticking on him. That's a real simple play. That's easy. That's running back on free safety, Maurice Leggett, and that's an advantage offense, and Torrey Harrison took advantage of it.
So Calgary went from the 9 to the 6, but there were some Winnipeg offensive plays in between and 2 interceptions. And now Calgary does have the lead and will go 4-2. John Hufnagel goes for 2 more than any other Canadian Football League head coach.
I love it.
He's embraced the deuce more than anyone. Here you go. Bowled by Mitchell in the end zone. It is caught. And Eric Rogers, who's used to grabbing him for 6, gets 1 for 2. And it's an 8-0 Calgary lead.
Well, that's why not. You know, just pitch and catch down there. You get any type of room or cushion from a defensive back in that situation from the 5-yard line or 3-yard line. You're going to go for it. And I absolutely love it. Harrison, one-on-one matchup like I talked about. Here he is right here. He's going to come in right here. I'll give you a better look. Right there like that. Maurice Leggett, inside position. He gains it. That's all day long. That's a hot route. That is the matchup you're looking for with nobody in the middle. And the 2-point convert is pitch and catch on a quick out. We call it a 2 route. Bo Levi knows where he's going with the football before already, just because Damon Washington's given too much cushion to the number 2 receiver to the boundary, and that's pitch and catch on 2 plays there. Made it look really easy. The Calgary Stampeders took advantage of some things that Winnipeg was doing defensively. Made it look real easy.
So, Matt, for the season, teams are cashing in on 2-point convert tries about 70% of the time. On the single point after, they're about 85%. Rene Paredes sends that deep. And this is Troy Stoudemire from the 10-yard line. Stoudemire finds a seam, still going. Stoudemire across the 40-yard line, lost the football for a moment. Tackle made there by Dexter Janke. And so Winnipeg will have decent field position as Marv comes back on after throwing the pick. And this is his first start 2 weeks ago against Toronto.
And again, I'll preface this with saying that he was under the weather and he felt like he started off well and just kind of lost energy as the game went on. He's focused on being better at that this week and throws this one up, a ball that shouldn't have been thrown. We've seen one of those already tonight. And, you know, you think and make good decisions, just turn it up there, use your athletic ability to get the first down, but he chose to throw it. Playing fast is what he wants to do, and he'll get better as he gets the reps.
Flag comes down as he hands it off to the second tailback, Tyler Thomas. He and Cameron Marshall will spell each other off. But the flag came from the Winnipeg offensive backfield. It's holding against the Bombers.
Dominic Picard's not playing him. Tyus Goosen is playing in for him at center. Been practicing all week as they've been trying to get Dom up, but he's down tonight, and so Picard's out, and Goosen gets an opportunity. Holding. I think he gets called
Winnipeg,
for this.
Number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Chris Graves, the left guard, gets called, so it's back now to the 34-yard line, 1st and 20.
Regardless, I just hate doing that to those big boys up front. Every time we recognize them, it's usually in a bad situation like that. Chris Graves playing left guard and Goosen playing center, and they're trying to shore up that offensive line for Winnipeg and protect their quarterback.
Now Marv under pressure gets away, spins out to his left, and Robert Marv being chased down by Juwan Simpson. Got a block in the corner from Nick Moore and springs it for a gain of 12.
Yeah, and you get more than half there, and you see the athleticism that people refer to when they talk about Robert Marv in any conversation. And you know, and this is what you have to do. Things always don't happen like you scripted, and you just got to play fast. And this is a guy that's flying around out there. He's got 3 ACLs. And he's blown and torn and had to have surgery 3 times on the same knee. Got right patella tendon in there, left patella tendon, some of his left hamstring, all in one ACL on his left knee. And absolutely phenomenal to watch him move around like he does.
Here comes the rush. Marv gets it away, and the pass is incomplete. Looking there for Jomo Gordon. It'll be 3rd down for Winnipeg.
And oftentimes that's just credit to the athlete and what these guys go through on a regular basis to try to earn a living at this, a short-lived living in a lot of cases. And Robert Marv is proof in the pudding right there.
Michael O'Shea's watching the replay on the scoreboard. He's got the challenge flag in his hand. And
I think Burnett,
no.
Wow.
Liram Haralahu will punt it. A low driving kick chases Tim Brown inside his 15-yard line. And Brown is stacked up right away. Special team stop made by Winnipeg's Greg Newman. A 52-yard punt, a return of 4. Bo Levi Mitchell and the Calgary Stampeders 6-2 on the year. The early lead now in Winnipeg. Side, a team's 20-yard line. Result of a touchdown about once every 16 tries. Bo Levi Mitchell fires it way out there, and the catch is made by Greg Wilson. Wilson with a first down up to the 29-yard line, rather.
Yeah, first-year player from Fordham's got all kinds of speed. Legitimate 4.3 40 guy. Just made that look easy over the shoulder. Didn't even think twice about it. Didn't let his biscuit get in the way of his hands there, and didn't overthink it, and just made that look remarkably easy. Playing well in the first quarter. Greg Wilson.
Now they fake the toss to Harrison. Mitchell wants to go deep, can't find anyone, throws underneath, and the catch is made by Eric Rogers. Room to run, he's at the midfield. And finally tripped up there by Khalil Bass, but the gain is 27.
He wanted to come back to the cornerback side, and he was looking at it. And as a quarterback, you're taught to get off of it and check down. It's exactly what Bo Levi does. Watch him as he scrambles around here, fakes the toss left, and he's looking back now. He wants it. Now I got to get off, find somebody underneath. Typically, when that happens, defenders have dropped back. You have underneath, and he found it.
Settled for 27 yards. Not a bad second option. Now they fake the end around to Markway McDaniel. The passer was over the head of Torrey Harrison. And it'll bring up 2nd down. So Bo Levi Mitchell comes in at 6-2 this year. He is 21-4 as a starting quarterback in his first 25 starts. Only Jackie Parker, as you mentioned, the legend, began better at 22-3.
Yeah, he was my coach. I played with him, played against him, played with him. That's a good group right there now. That's getting it done early.
Second and 10. Mitchell throws, passes, caught. First down. Marquay McDaniel down to the 42-yard line. Chris Randall there to make the stop, a gain of 12.
Again, you know, we talked about leverage of Harrison on a touchdown catch earlier. Watch this right here. This is leverage inside here, gained once again by Marquay McDaniel. A little rub route, clearing route. Defenders are soft, and Marquay McDaniel finds a soft spot.
Now Mitchell with a first down give, and this is Torrey Harrison, and Harrison has a gain of 5. So Harrison is spelling off Matt Walter. You mentioned Walter with 110 yards rushing last week is somewhat under the weather. So Harrison, the second-year man out of Southern Mississippi, gets the call.
Yeah, he told me before the ball game, I said, "How you feeling, Matt?" He looked at me kind of sideways. I said, "You all right?" He said, "Yeah, I'm okay." And he rolled up to me closer and he said, "Feels like week 9, I can tell you that much."
Second and 5. Mitchell under pressure, and he is dropped. A loss of 7 on the play. Jake Thomas was in there, along with Greg Peach. And Mitchell had his bonnet knocked off. And it'll be third down from the 45.
Little twist inside here, and it gains leverage. I think it was Westerman coming on the inside right there, and he scoots free. Comes over the backside, and then Peach comes around from the other side, and that's getting it done. Taking Calgary out of field goal range, forcing a punt.
Would be a 52-yard try inside the range of Reddy Paredes, but Rob Maver, one of the best at hemming teams in, will punt it. Here comes the block, and they got it. Going to the quick there with Derek Jones for the Bombers, now off and running. Lynn J. Shell picks it up for the Bombers, and a huge special teams play for Winnipeg. Something they've been waiting for all year long, and the Bombers are in business.
Gordy talked about it. Special teams, big time, stepping up to the plate there. Defense forces a sack, forces the punt. But I think it started a couple series early on a punt coverage, and this is what they needed. They needed solid punt coverage there. They get it. I believe that's Chris Randall coming down on, and then it carries over. This is exactly what the Winnipeg Blue Bombers needed from their special teams, because they've been horrendous this season, already making a big impact here in the first half of the game tonight. See if they can't take advantage of it. Wake up this offense, because defense is playing well, and special teams has come to play tonight so far for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
2 weeks ago against Toronto was a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown by the Argos that turned the game. In the first meeting against Calgary, a fumble on a punt return and a block punt later in the game were 2 turning points in that one. So the much maligned Winnipeg special teams come through here, and now it's 1st and 10 from the Calgary 39-yard line. The fake to Tyler Thomas, and Marv will take it himself. He's got running blockers in front of him. Robert Marv takes a shot there from Micah Johnson, but not before he crosses the 25-yard line and picks up a Winnipeg first down.
Yeah, it's just a high snap on that punt block here. Randy Chevrier, veteran, who's the best in the league, just kind of airmails one out there, and it just kind of gets there a little slow, and then it was...
Derek Jones got in to block it.
Yeah, and he just took it right off of Maver's foot, and that was an easy one for that team, and Robert Marv is taking advantage of it.
First down for the 23. Play fake to Cameron Marshall, and the quick throw caught by Nick Moore, and Moore inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line.
Yeah, big-time tackle by Joe Burnett, reading that all the way, have his eyes in the backfield, came up there and made a nice open field tackle on Nick Moore.
Gain was 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4, so a critical point in the game here for Winnipeg to take advantage of the turnover.
Young quarterback, don't force it. You got 3 on the board right now, or possibly. Don't take a sack here. Don't try to force the issue. Read it out. If it's clean, stick it on him. If not, throw it away.
Here comes the rush. Marv steps up, trying to find some room to run, and he will not get it. As Deron Mayo tracked him down and dropped him back at the 25-yard line. And so Winnipeg will have to try a field goal from 32 yards out, which has been a problematic distance this year for kicker Lirim Hajrullahu.
Yeah, I think it's Deron Mayo right up in the middle here is going to eventually get to Robert Marv. And, well, he's working. Then he comes free. That's just a hustle play. Deron Mayo talked about his athleticism off the top of the show, and he shows you right there.
So Lirim Hajrullahu is kicking from the point after distance of 32 yards. He's missed 5 times for 1 from this distance. Puts it up, and it is good. So the Bombers get 3 off the turnover and are on the board after 15 minutes, trailing 8-3. Calgary with the lead. The second quarter to come on the CFL on TSN, live from Winnipeg. The numbers through the opening 15 minutes here in Winnipeg, and you can see the edge in total yards goes to the Calgary Stampeders, but the Stamps with 2 turnovers so far. And really, Matt, for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, when they commit fewer turnovers this year, they're 3-0. That's a story for most CFL teams.
Absolutely. It's the biggest statistic at the end of a ball game on whether or not you're going to win or lose. And both teams were affected by it. Bo Levi gifted the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with an interception in the end zone to Matt Buckner. And then Marv turns around and gives it right back to Calgary, and they put 8 points on the board, converting a 2-point convert. And then their block punt. Winnipeg goes and capitalizes, get 3 of their own. Often the difference maker, Gord. Turnovers having its effect here in the first quarter.
So after the field goal, Calgary opens the second quarter, first down at its own 35-yard line. And again, the carry goes to Harrison, and Harrison gets around the left side. And Torrey Harrison fights his way out to the 46-yard line, good for 11.
He's got a little bit of scoot, doesn't he? Different kind of back, you know, talking to Dave Dickinson about his running back, Torrey Harrison. He says he's a bit concerned about his blocking and his protections. You know, loves Matt Walter in that capacity because obviously Walter's been there for a lot longer. But there's Dave right there, offensive coordinator, soon to be head coach for the Stampeders next year. I can say that Harrison, though, looks pretty good toting the rock.
And Mitchell throws it right back out there. Jeff Fuller the catch, and Fuller gets out to about the 52-yard line.
That doesn't look like much there. Shotgun. Bo Levi gets it. Knows where he's going with the football. Often quarterbacks do when they're running the hurry-up game. And then throws a strike. Watch how quickly this ball gets out. Bang! Sticks it on him. Because that's good coverage from the short side right there. Johnny Adams was all over that receiver, and the ball was just stuck in there by Bo Levi Mitchell from Katy, Texas.
Second and 4, 3-man rush, and Mitchell just throws that in the feet of Harrison. And Winnipeg forces Calgary to punt. In the first meeting, Matt, Winnipeg put Calgary 2 and out 3 consecutive possessions to open the football game and took a 16-0 lead.
Yeah, and, you know, I think that's what Robert Marv was alluding to last week. You know, good energy early, and then they just fizzled late, and they want to sustain this type of energy. And so far, that's 2 back-to-back series here where the defense has stepped up and gotten off the football field. Let's see if Chevrolet, that's a good snap.
Flag comes down, and before the play can be started, and I believe this is going to be procedure against Calgary.
Procedure. Calgary, number 24. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Yeah, they tried to quick snap him there, and Burnett was not set and got caught. But I just like the energy that Winnipeg defense and their special teams is showing right now. We'll see if the young quarterback, Robert Marv, can't get some decent field position here and take advantage of it.
Low driving kick, Stoudemire from his 15-yard line. Gets stacked up there by the Calgary special teams, led by Dexter Janke. And so Robert Marv with his team down by 5 with decent field position, trying to end a 2-game losing streak. Back with more from Winnipeg after this. Back in Winnipeg, in the music business, they say don't leave your best show in the rehearsal. Is that true, too, of the warm-up in football, Sarah Orlesky?
Well, Gord, you've mentioned all the things already, you and Matt, that Robert Marv has done differently this week. He's had the practice. He's feeling better. When you looked at him during warm-up as well, though, he seemed looser this time, which would make sense having had one start underneath his belt. He seemed also to be maybe a little bit smarter in how he approached the warm-up, conserved some of the energy, and we will see whether or not it's able to translate into the game. And when you spoke to the Calgary Stampeders players about what they expected from Robert Marv, the answer from the defense often was, we don't really know. We'll see whether or not he's able to take advantage of that tonight.
And the first down carry goes to Cameron Marshall, and Marshall gets out to the 30-yard line for a gain of 4. Yeah, Marv, by his own admission, was a little hyped up for that first start against Toronto. Might have warned himself on the warm-up.
I don't know how he got there. I mean, because he was on his deathbed the day of the game and not feeling well at all, and then he was dehydrated to the game, cramping up. We saw his throwing hand cramping up several times, his hamstring, but he looks like he's moving around pretty well tonight.
Early movement.
Oh, I like that.
Flags are down. It's a free play, and Marv gets away from the rush, gets a big block on the corner, gets away from Duron Mayo and runs all that way to get maybe 2 yards, but this will be, it appears to be, offside against Calgary.
Anybody's had any type of knee problems, one knee surgery, ACL, MCL, PCL, whatever it may have been, 3 ACLs. I talked about a patella tendon, part of his patella taken to repair his first one, his left patella tendon, repair his second one, hamstring.
2 penalties on the play.
Repairs
Offside,
third one.
Calgary number 7. And then on the opposite side of the line, offside, Winnipeg number 29.
Oh.
We'll replay the down, second down.
It's a testament to his work ethic, his courage, and want and desire to play this game, to come back from devastating injuries like he's persevered. And it's phenomenal to watch that kid run around out there knowing what he's been through.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 29-yard line. Here comes the rush. Marv stands in, but he is dropped. And once again, Micah Johnson gets in there, but a flag comes down at the end of the play. And this is going to be a low tackle by Johnson.
There is no penalty on the play. The quarterback was a runner. Third down.
What? Okay. Yes, a lot of movement going on up front here, and eventually Mike is going to come free over here. You see a lot of this in the league. People crossing faces. A really nice stunt there, and Micah Johnson's got him by the knee. And
so the difference is, if he's ruled to be a runner, you can tackle him below the waist.
He was still between the tackles, so he's still in the tackle box. I don't get that.
Iralahu to punt it away from his 10-yard line, booms one. It drives Brown back to his 35. Tim Brown with a head of steam. Here he comes at the left side, and Brown tripped up at midfield. Lynn J. Shell got a hand on him, and a late flag comes down there as well. A 55-yard punt. A return of 19. It's Calgary up by 5 on the CFL on TSN.
Play, there you go, and there's the hitty. There's the hammer, and there's the nail, and it gets.
Dexter Janke with the hit.
Keep your head on a swivel.
And now the give goes to Torrey Harrison, and Harrison gets a gain of a couple on the play. Winnipeg has not run the ball effectively, or rather Calgary has not run the ball effectively for long stretches, and yet without John Cornish and with Matt Walter now out, they've done it when they had to. Last week against Saskatchewan, holding the lead late in the game, just devoured the clock.
Yeah, 3:31, they chewed off the clock, and the last 12 meetings against Winnipeg, they averaged 143 yards, so they love running football against the Peg.
2nd and 8. Mitchell under pressure, has lots of room and a long way to go. A pump fake. He's at the line of scrimmage. And they're waiting for him is Khalil Bass. And Calgary will have to punt. So a stout defensive performance thus far by the Bombers. An interception in the end zone. And now they force Calgary 2 and out.
I think, and I believe that the defense understands what's at task here and what they got to do. Special teams play has certainly been up today, and the offense has got a young quarterback. They need to be stellar, and it's right now they're giving Calgary everything they can. Let's see if Calgary tries a quick snap from here on this punt.
First 2 and out for the Stampeders on the afternoon. Stoudemire from his 18-yard line. The return set up to the right, but like a missile, in there came Calgary's Jeff Heck. Lost his helmet in the process and took the leg out from under Troy Stoudemire.
He got just pushed into the returner, and that's where the flag is. Jeff Heck was not happy with that shot in the back.
During the return, illegal block, Winnipeg number 24. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So
Winnipeg.
Tyler Thomas knocked Heck into Stoudemire right there. And so not much of a return, a penalty on top of it, and the Bombers will start at the 10-yard line.
He knocked him into his own player, and Jeff Heck, he was not liking that. He told Thomas all about it too. Hey, you know, Mike O'Shea said it best. Special teams is violent.
Speed and violence are the two key elements, he said. From the 10, Marv up and throwing. And the pass is caught there by Clarence Denmark. And Denmark has a gain of 8. Clarence Denmark doesn't lack for confidence, still feels he's one of the top receivers in the Canadian Football League. Just 1 touchdown catch so far on the year. That was against Calgary in the first meeting.
Yeah, I just can't help but feel Milt Stiegel's plight for many years in Winnipeg. You know, he put up 144 touchdowns with a whole bunch of different quarterbacks, and I know that's what Denmark's working through. Just make plays happen when you get a chance.
Play fake by Marv, under pressure throws. He finds Denmark. Marv got hammered on the play by Brandon Boudreau, but still got the pass away and moves the sticks.
Yeah, and he's got to square shoulders and throw off his back foot because Brandon Boudreau is right here out the edge. He's going to get in his face, and watch how Marv is kind of got to retreat, flip his feet, and then just eat it. Eat all of Brandon Boudreau in his face there, but he put the ball on the money and moved the chains.
Boudreau back in the Calgary lineup. And now a first down Winnipeg from the 27-yard line. Meyer fires up to Denmark. And Denmark out to the 33-yard line, a gain of 5.
That's good 1st and 10 play. Stick it on Denmark. Try to let him create something on the edge there. High percentage throw. Denmark's right here. He's going to come up and stick it right there, and then he's going to get upfield.
This drive began at the Bomber 10-yard line. This season coming in, Winnipeg had 18 drives start inside its 10-yard line and scored 1 touchdown. It was against Calgary in the first meeting. Here comes the rush again. Marv stands in and throws, and this time the pass is caught by Jomo Gordon. And Gordon very close to a Winnipeg first down. And indeed has it. Gain is 7.
Jomo Gordon came to the game with just 2 catches and 8 yards in his CFL career in only 2 games. And first-year player from Bethune-Cookman understood the situation, which is important for everybody to understand the sense of urgency. The yards needed to be gained because the quarterback's going to be under duress. You need to run your route accordingly, and everybody's on the same page there.
To throw deep, he's got Denmark. The pass is almost intercepted. Jamar Wall got a hand on it. The flag comes down. It's on the far sideline, well away from the play.
This ball shouldn't have been thrown. I can show you why, and it's just tremendous coverage by Wall.
Legal contact on a receiver. Calgary number 24. 10-yard penalty.
But Joe Burnett is called for contact. Automatic first down, Winnipeg.
The contact happens on the other side of the football field, but Marv's going to try to squeeze the ball in right here, and Wall's got tremendous coverage on the play, and he's actually baiting the post right here. Penalty happens at the top of the screen. All kinds of post stuff going on there. The ball shouldn't have been delivered down there.
First down from the Winnipeg 49-yard line.
Gordon Lucky didn't get that one picked off.
And now nothing doing there. Again, Boudreau in the backfield as the handoff goes to Tyler Thomas, and Brandon Boudreau, the Auburn, Alabama native, makes it a loss of 5.
Yeah, it's just penetrating, and penetration, as anybody knows, defensively will kill an offense, and it's coming right off the edge here, and he's going to penetrate and get upfield. Across his face. Untouched. Not sure I understand the design of that play. Let the defensive end be untouched to your running back.
2nd and 15. 4-man rush, and Marv can't get away. And this time it's Freddie Bishop who got to the quarterback after Junior Turner flushed him out. And Winnipeg will have to punt.
That's a good way to put it, Gordon. And you know, edge rushers getting after it, and they do. Hey, it's coming here and it's coming from there. There's your 2 pressures off the edge. You've only got Turner in the middle, tying up 2. Calgary defense stepping up to the challenge here, understanding the importance of the ball game right now.
Iralahu, a low kick that bounces in front of Brown at the 25-yard line. And Sam Hurl gets a hand on him as Brown is brought down at the 38. A 48-yard punt, a return of 15. And the CFL on TSN back to Winnipeg after this. You can't have many until you have one. First down Calgary from the 38-yard line.
Killing me, Gordon.
Levi Mitchell throws. Rogers the catch, off and running in Winnipeg territory. Rogers down to the 36-yard line. And the gain of the play is 36 yards.
It's like watching a thoroughbred, you know, just watching him. I believe he's in here, if I'm not mistaken. Right here. There he is. And it's tough to see on our monitor, but we found him. I love the route. Patience, climbs him, sticks him, and then runs away.
And Eric Rogers already over 100 yards receiving in the game. He's caught at least 4 passes now in 7 consecutive games. Now the snap, pulled Levi Mitchell away, throws it across the formation, and the catch is made by Lamar Durant. Flags come down as Durant gets inside the 25-yard line, and a pile of Bombers push him back. Lamar Durant, a 2nd-round pick in this year's draft out of Simon Fraser, has a tentative Calgary first down depending on the flag.
And I'm talking about a big boy too, 6'2", 230, and he's thick, and he starts on the right side, going to cross into the flat area outside, moving right to left, and then he just gets that big body going north-south. And
Holding, Calgary number 80. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
So Rogers called for the hold, and first down will be repeated.
Right at the point of attack, he's... I didn't see enough of it there, but Rogers was called.
It's a big penalty. Instead of being inside the 25, they're back at the 46.
Points off the board potentially there, because take him out of field goal range.
So make it 1st and 20 for the Stampeders.
Idea is just get half right here. Don't have to pick it up get it all back in one play.
Mitchell's under pressure. Flags are down again, and Levi Mitchell throws it up and way out of bounds. And the Stampeders may find themselves on the wrong side of midfield now.
Yeah, Shane Bergman's going to be called for a hold here, it looks like.
Holding, Calgary number 67. A penalties decline.
That's Greg Williams, Gary Williams.
So rather than give Calgary another first down, the Bombers decline it. It'll be 2nd and 20.
As soon as Bo Levi started scrambling to his left, offensive linemen think that he's behind him, and they lose leverage. And all of a sudden, the defender starts pushing to their left, and they think that the quarterback's to their right, and then their hands get locked on, and boy, you see it out of the cylinder, and you see the hold happen. It's pretty easy for the officials to make those calls.
And all Huffner can say is, wow. So here you go, 2nd and 20 from the Winnipeg 46. Mitchell under pressure, and he is dropped. Looked like Justin Cole got a hand on him. Cole new to the Winnipeg lineup. But regardless, Bo Levi Mitchell dropped the 50-yard line, and Calgary will have to punt. So a combination of penalties and good defensive play pushes Calgary back.
A little stun on the inside, applies the pressure, and a little ET, tackle in. Stunt right there, flushes Bo, and step in there and get you a sack.
Neighbor looking for the sideline, bounces that inside the 20, and out it goes at the 16. So a 5-point lead for the Calgary Stampeders remains after a 30-yard punt by Maver. Robert Marv and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will have the football when we return. Last night, the pregame show, Mike was all fired up.
Yeah, first time out of the chute, a little overzealous. Probably took a couple offside penalties for sure. But I understand overall he had a winning performance.
He did. Tyler Thomas with a first down carry for Winnipeg, as the Bombers try to establish a run game here under 3 to go in the first half.
Yeah, why not? Just get these guys going. Get them north and south. Let the big boys eat a little bit.
Gain was close to 9. Tyler Thomas out of Bacone University.
Sure it's not bacon?
Yes, I'm sure. Early movement, all kinds of flags.
How cool would that be, though? Seriously, Gord, to go to Bacon University.
Or Rice.
Oh.
Procedure, Winnipeg number 53. 5-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
It's not even a close comparison, Gord. That was weak.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm watching just Justin Veltong. He's been non-existent here in the first half, and finally on the football field, a guy with a ton of explosive ability. I'd like to see him touch a football.
So now 2nd and 6, 4-man rush. Marv under pressure, and down he goes again. Quinn Smith with the sack there. There's a flag down way in the Calgary defensive backfield. It's going against the Stampeders, so the sack will not count.
Yeah, that was Justin Veltong.
Legal contact on a receiver. Calgary number 11.
They're trying to
penalty. First down.
Pretty simple to see. I just talked about him, Justin Veltong, first-year player.
And Josh Bell is called for the contact.
From Idaho, and he's going to push up and he's trying to get across the middle, and that's where the contact happens right there. He's just 15 yards downfield. That's impeding the receiver from getting to where he wants, and it's an easy call for the official.
There's Calgary defensive coordinator Rich Stubler, the longtime Canadian Football League defensive guru. So first down, Bombers from their 30-yard line. Here comes the rush again, and this time he does go down. Junior Turner appeared to get the last touch on him. That's the 4th sack of the game for the Calgary Stampeders. Winnipeg once again leading the CFL in sacks allowed.
You hear the term happy feet. This is exactly what they're talking about. Pressure, then watch. Quarterback starts blocking for the guys in front, and then he just bails and throw that one away or dump it down in a hurry. And you can't block for the big boys up front. Let them do their jobs. Keep your eyes peeled downfield. Easier said than done with the limited reps that Robert Marv has.
Now on 2nd and 16. Here comes the rush again. They screen it off this time for Thomas. And Thomas gets some blocks, gets up to the 31-yard line, but well short of a Winnipeg first down. And with 1:44 to go in the opening half, the Bombers will have to punt.
With an 8-3 score here in the first half, We talked about the intensity of Winnipeg's defense over the last quarter and plus, and I really think Calgary's been matching it as well. And it's going to be one of those ball games, Gord, until it opens up here, possibly in the second half.
Entering this week, Matt, there have been 171 drives in the CFL in which a quarterback sack had been recorded. The team that allowed the sack went on to score a touchdown 3 times. Sacks are a huge momentum changer in a game and a drive killer.
Who are you talking to? I'm broke up from all the sacks over my career.
Here's Brown, chased back to the 20-yard line. And Brown has some room to run, winds his way back to the middle. And finally brought down there by Brendan Morgan, a 57-yard punt, a return of 20. Yeah, I got to get some Abhi-Kam shawarma. But before that, let's tell you about the Whitecaps FC on TSN. They continue next against Houston at 9 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
No, let's go back to the Abhi-Kam shawarma right
That's Abhi right there.
There it is, Abhi. Yeah, I see Abhi.
They should send some of those up here at halftime.
I think that'd be a good call.
That'd be a good idea, don't you? Huh? Illegal block, though, call against Calgary on this play, and as a result, the good return by Brown. She's been put all the way back to their 13-yard line.
Yeah, it's a good return by Tim Brown. If you notice, when Tim Brown catches most of the returns, he doesn't do a whole lot of going east and west. He goes north and south, and that's why he's such a consistent, explosive return in the Canadian Football League. Tim Brown been getting it done for a while now.
So Calgary hemmed in here, and the Bombers, if they get a quick stop, can get some good field position.
Got him on just Greg Wilson here, 84, down in his boundary.
Calgary. And Bo Levi Mitchell calls timeout.
Wow. That's not a good thing coming out of a change of possession, a penalty applied, and you got to take a timeout with 1:14 on the clock. Want to go the length of the field, put points on the board before the half.
Well, they gave up cowbells tonight.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cowbell tonight, right?
Need more cowbell. And the give on the end around goes to Parker, and Anthony Parker, with his 6th carry of the year, gets 14 yards and a Calgary first down.
There you go. I like that. It's a quick kid. Talking about one of those guys, Gord, that talk about the scouting of the Calgary Stampeders and how well they continue to draft year in, year out. Anthony Parker is certainly part of that process.
On first down, Mitchell throws, and the pass is caught as a flag comes down. Eric Rogers makes the grab. We'll see what the flag is about. Drew Tate in the Calgary sideline indicating it's against the Bombers. Quarterbacks, of course, are never wrong.
Nice.
Right, Matt?
I'm not touching that one,
Defensive
Gord.
pass interference. Winnipeg, number 7. That penalty's declined. It will be a first down.
I know.
Calgary will take the game.
I know of 211 times I certainly was wrong in my career. But it's inside matchup right here, right in this area. Gonna get banged, and there's contact right there, 10 yards downfield. Can't do it. Can't touch him after 5.
Rogers 5 catches for 115 yards so far this afternoon.
Getting loud in here now.
Inside a minute to go in the first half. Mitchell's under pressure, and down he goes. Bryant Turner gets in for the stop, and a huge sack there for the Winnipeg defense.
First sack of the season, 23rd of his career. Alabama Birmingham. Well, he just did a nice job of just another little stunt. Takes a little while. Nice job by the defensive secondary. That's a sack. That's a coverage sack right there. Secondary just buying enough time for the defensive lineman to move around that much. You know they're doing a good job on the back end, allowing Bryant Turner to get his first sack of the season.
Loss was 13. Now from the 25-yard line, and nothing doing there. Westerman gets it. And Westerman's going to roll his way off the field. The loss is 2.
That's infectious right there. That's a lot of fun to watch. Fans love it. Players feed off of that. Secondary set it up on 1st and 10. Brian Turner got to the quarterback with the sack, and then Westerman just comes and annihilates.
So late flag on the play.
Excessive celebration, maybe.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg, number 25. 15-yard penalty.
Wow.
Automatic first down.
So Bruce Johnson is called for unnecessary roughness, and instead of forcing Calgary to punt, the Stampeders have a first down at the 38-yard line with 27 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, and the official's right in his face, and he's John with Anthony Parker, and it's right in front of number 47, the official, and he's right there. He sees it, and then he throws a punch, and that flag's going to come out right there. Flag's going to come out every time on that.
Now, screen it off, but the pass falls into the feet of Torrey Harrison. Calgary almost in Hail Mary territory here. We saw that last week against Saskatchewan late in the first half, threw one up late.
No, I'm not letting you get away with that, Gordon.
Let me get away with it.
Yeah, this was beautiful, and we talked about Bo Levi with this at length, and that was a 64-yard toss into the wind
with 4 Saskatchewan guys around Rogers.
And I talked about Rogers being a thoroughbred, and 6'4", went up and got it at its highest point. He's actually supposed to tip that back to a couple other receivers, but he just went up and snatched it himself.
Now on second down. Mitchell throws up to the wide side. Greg Wilson makes the catch, but Wilson marked down at the 46-yard line will be short of a Calgary first down. But the penalty against Bruce Johnson, a costly one, as Calgary would have had to punt with 40 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, Winnipeg's got the ball right now and possibly moving it into scoring zone, and Calgary's able to run a couple other plays, change field position a little bit here.
Of course, we saw last week in the game between Toronto and Ottawa, Brandon McDonald of Ottawa called for objectionable conduct. The key play got cut this week. Stoudemire inside his 15-yard line. Stoudemire finds his seam. There's a flag down as he gets close to the 40-yard line. 6 seconds to go here in the first half. A 51-yard punt. A return of 26.
All in all, the first half here for Robert Marvin, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I think has been a success. Throwing across his body and caused through an interception, and Calgary capitalized and put 8 points on the board, and that's the difference so far.
While the ball was in flight, holding Winnipeg number 55. 10-yard penalty, first down Winnipeg.
So Westerman called for the hold, and that was 6 seconds to go. Right in the middle of your screen.
Yeah, Tebow just flying down, getting after it. What O'Shea say, speed and violence is all about special teams. And
Tebow had a punt return or punt block for a touchdown against Winnipeg in the first meeting. Adam Berger got a hand on it, and Tebow took it in for the score. So now the Bombers are back at their own 6-yard line.
I don't think that's going to matter much here. Just take a knee and head to the house. And Robert Marvin learned from his mistake in the first half, which is the difference on the scoreboard to this point. But a high-spirited first half by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, special teams and defense, and offense just needs to manage it here, and they'll stay in the ball game.
Calgary has won 3 in a row coming in, 6-2 on the year. And to halftime we go in a 5-point game and a defensive battle in Winnipeg. Mike Benavides and company well equipped to talk about that. Here comes CFL at the half with Rod Smith.
Only 8-3, but this has been a very entertaining game. Both defenses are doing a great job. Winnipeg has allowed 4 sacks, Calgary 3 sacks. So one area I got to see Robert Marv or somebody on that offense pick it up. And Eric Rogers once again is having a great game. 5 catches for 115 yards.
And here he is now with Sarah Oleski.
Eric, you had over 100 yards in that first half, but in terms of points, it's only 8-3 Calgary leading right now. Where has that Winnipeg defense caused you guys the most problems?
Nah, we get in the red zone, and I took a holding penalty. That's on me. Then we got another holding penalty after that, so kind of took us out of field goal range and took points off the board. Go out here, make some more plays, get this W. Just hush up the crowd and get back to Calgary and rest up for Labor Day.
You've had a good transition this season, playing from wide out, moving into slot back. What or who do you credit helping you with that transition?
It takes time and a lot of study on my part, but Bo, the coaching staff, just watching past people that played it like Nick and Marquay. They're two of the best slot backs in the league, and just film study. And I'm pretty savvy. I like to play football, and I'm gonna go out here and compete each and every week.
Thanks for this, Eric.
Thanks, you're welcome.
Calgary's first play from scrimmage, a 38-yarder to Eric Rogers, but ultimately, Winnipeg got the interception, and there's a later pick there by Keon Raymond to set up the touchdown for the Stampeders, hence an 8-3 lead. Second half kickoff is coming up on TSN.
A 5-point game here after the opening half. One of the key defensive plays turned in by Winnipeg's Matt Buckner. He's standing by with our Sarah Orlesky.
Matt, obviously the interception on that opening drive was a huge play and be able to turn some of the momentum in favor of you guys right off of the hop. Defensively, you hold the Stampeders team to 8 points in the first half. How did you do it?
Just the guys doing their jobs, everyone flying to the ball, making plays when they can. And for us in the second half, we just got to keep doing it and hold them to 0 if we can. What
is the challenge of being able to maintain that throughout 4 quarters when you look at the defensive battle on both sides?
Yeah, just when you have an opportunity to make a play, make it. And when we're out here, everyone do their job and count on each other, and we'll get the job done.
Thank you, Matt.
No problem. Thank you.
Winnipeg comes in with a record of 3-5 on the year. The home and home with Saskatchewan coming up in Regina on Sunday, then back here in Winnipeg the week following. And of course, Calgary and Edmonton heading for their Labor Day and following home and home. And what a battle that'll be.
You just got to figure you got to scratch and claw for the next 30 minutes if you're the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and somehow find a way to get some offense going, continue to play solid defense, and win this football game so you can go 4-5 halfway point of the season. That's a whole lot better than 3-6.
A little reverse now here on the kick return. Flip it across to Damon Washington. A flag comes down as Washington goes out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So as Troy Studemeyer flips it off to Washington.
Lynn J. Shell is going to get called for a holding on the point of attack as they tried to attack backside, and Jeff Heck was the guy that was being held and right in front of the official.
Return, holding, Winnipeg number 13. 10-yard penalty, first down.
There is no 13, so we'll assume they meant 14. Lynn J. Shell.
Close enough.
So the Bombers now begin at their own 15-yard line. And we've talked before about the difficulty of beginning a drive inside your 20-yard line. Here's a look at the first half leaders for the Bombers. Robert Marve, 9 of 10 for 72 yards, but the 1 interception throwing back across his body.
It's good to see Clarence Denmark getting the footballs, make something happen, and not a lot going on offensively.
Play fake, and Marve throws the ball to the near sideline, and Nick Moore gets thrown out of bounds at the 21.
It's just running an avoided spot. There's no route involved there. Just hit to an area and ball stuck on you and get what you can.
Gain of the play was 6. Nick Moore, kind of a forgotten guy when it comes to touchdown catches. Just 1 on the year so far. That was in week 1 against Saskatchewan.
He's got 10 on the career, so he's not lighting it up in the end zone. And like Eric Rogers is caught.
There we go. Picked off. Intercepted by Jamar Wall, and Wall scores. Touchdown, Calgary. So Keon Raymond almost took one back for a touchdown in the opening moments of the game, and here in the opening moments of the second half, Jamar Wall with his second interception of the year has a touchdown to extend the Calgary lead.
Jamar Wall just steps in front of a ball that it's a small window there, and he's eyeballing the quarterback, kind of playing 2 different routes there, and jumped the inside one, stepped in front of it, and makes a nice cut, find daylight, hits the pay dirt.
Second career interception for a touchdown for Jamar Wall, the 27-year-old from Lubbock, Texas. And just like that, Calgary leads by 11 with a 1-point convert to come. So Robert Marv picked off twice last week and now twice this afternoon. And Paredes puts it up and through. And Calgary now leads by 12. It's Jamar Wall with the interception. Steps in front of his man and takes it back for the score, 29 yards.
As Jamar Wall, like you said, Gord, fourth-year player from Texas Tech, getting it done on this play. He's right here. And watch what he does. This is a beautiful thing. He's playing an area, and he's going to jump, and he's going to bait the young quarterback. And here's his responsibility. But he's looking back on the inside here, and that's ultimately where he's going to jump. He lets his area outside receiver go, jumps the underneath, makes a nice cut in the end zone. It's a heads-up veteran play right there, and a young quarterback baiting him on the inside.
That's the 22nd defensive touchdown scored in the CFL this year. And Studemeyer gets up to the 35-yard line, so the Bombers will begin there. Now done by 12. But the astonishing story, Matt, is Hamilton, which has scored 8 of them this year already. 6 interception returns for touchdowns this season.
Yeah, just scoring machine defensively, and got a bit of a wake-up call in Montreal this past week. And
all the points in this game, Matt, scored off turnovers.
And you just kind of felt that wind go out of the sails here in Winnipeg when that happened, because points are tough to come by, and an offense that is struggling right now with Robert Marv at the helm.
Give it off to Cameron Marshall. And Marshall gets a gain of maybe 3 on the play. And you get the sense, Matt, that this season, most of the so-called sudden change plays in Winnipeg games have gone against them. Punt returns for touchdowns, block kicks, you name it.
Yeah, and they did everything they could in the first half there, defensively and special teams wise, to try to stop that bleeding, create their own, which they did a nice job of. Just the offense couldn't capitalize on it.
Now 2nd and long for Marv in the offense. And Marv throws out there for Gordon. And closing quickly on him was Joe Burnett. And Winnipeg again will have to punt.
Gordon is extending for this football. His ribs are exposed to the oncoming defender, and the ball is high, and Burnett's closing quickly, and he can just feel Gordon just wincing as he knew the ball was going to be high, and he's going to have to extend for it, and couldn't pull it down.
Ira Lahu kicks it away from his 25-yard line. A low tumbling kick taken by Brown on the fly at the 30. And Brown out to the 45-yard line. A 41-yard punt, a return of 14. Eric Rogers has been a touchdown machine for the Calgary Stampeders since joining them last year. His team's up by 12 on the CFL on TSN from Winnipeg. Hasn't always been an oil painting for the Calgary Stampeders, but here are their leaders through the first half and a bit.
Well, those are pretty solid numbers. Just one mistake by Bo Levi Mitchell, taking sure points off the board. Rogers doing his thing. Hadn't found the end zone yet. Harrison having another good night.
And Matt Walter, by the way, we mentioned, down a quart with the flu, hasn't played much this afternoon. And here is Torrey Harrison with the first down carry, and Harrison out to the 50-yard line for a gain of 5.
Yeah, you mentioned Eric Rogers, who just a touchdown machine, lighting it up, and numbers that you expect from a wide receiver, and he's been a favorite target here in the first half for Bo Levi once again, and just feeding the football. Good things will happen.
Leads the league, Matt, with 7 touchdowns on the year. Entering this game, Matt, he had 56 career catches. 11 of them were for touchdowns. Now on 2nd down, Mitchell throws underneath. The pass is caught. Anthony Parker's off and running. And a flag comes down late. That looked like a horse collar tackle called from the Calgary bench. Not just the officials, but down to the 42-yard line. The gain is 18, and more to come.
Yeah, we saw that play earlier in the ball game. And it was Greg Wilson coming across. He's coming right to left.
Penalty.
Left to right.
And there's the penalty on Bruce Johnson for the horse collar tackle. So tack 15 on to the end of that. And Calgary is down to the Winnipeg 27-yard line.
It's going downhill in a hurry for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and you get the feeling that 12-point lead right now and maybe insurmountable, and Calgary's knocking on the door for some more.
Toss goes off to Harrison, and Harrison slices down to the 20. Calgary has won 5 straight here in Winnipeg. Their last loss here was in July of 2009. Stampeders also 2-0 in this stadium since it opened in 2013.
The Bombers 0 for their last 2, and they lost 4 of their last 5, and so all that doesn't add up for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Overall, Calgary has won 11 of the last 12 meetings with Winnipeg. The loss was last year, the final week of the season, when Calgary rested a lot of its starters.
Yeah, 18-13 victory, and Marv got to play in that game as well. 6-12 for that ball game, threw a touchdown.
And now Harrison fights down close to a first down. There's a flag on the play as Markway McDaniel had his helmet knocked off. By the way, Bo Levi Mitchell made his first CFL start here in July of 2013, and he was exceptional that night. 29 of 33 for 376 yards and 3 touchdowns in his first CFL start.
What is that? It's something you dream of. That's just phenomenal numbers first time out of the gate.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg, number 55. Half the distance to goal, automatic.
So now Westerman gets called for the unnecessary roughness, and it's down inside the 10-yard line for the Stampeders.
Yeah, and it's pretty simple. You know, this is a mismatch to begin with. Here he is right here, and he's going to be tied up against Markway McDaniel. And he just squashes him, pulls him back up, continues to wrestle him. Helmet comes off. Kind of headbutting him right there, seems like. And he's just letting off some steam, tired of getting pushed around out there right now by the Stampeders.
Head coach Michael O'Shea having a word with him. First and goal for Calgary. Busted play. It looked like Mitchell throws down close to the goal line, and Rogers has the catch down to the 1. Eric Rogers, by the way, has a touchdown catch in 6 consecutive games entering this one. CFL record is 10, held by former Stampeder Terry Evanson.
I look at the numbers he's putting up this year, and I just expect numbers from all wide receivers. To be like that every year. And just glad to see Eric Rogers having this type of season, because gives me an opportunity to remain confident about offenses and going to the White House in the CFL and being productive.
Second and goal just outside the 1. And Brian Moniz comes in, and Moniz in for the touchdown.
That's too easy. Yeah, it's getting chippy out there right now. The officials better be careful here, because Jamal Westerman is involved in that one as well. That was just dominant. Moniz just went left and followed the big boys along the left-hand side, and that was a walk-in basically by Moniz. It's getting ugly here in a hurry here in the second half, Gord.
6th place, 66-yard drive for the Stampeders. It takes 2:56. So Moniz, the 3rd quarterback for the Stampeders. And now Calgary will go for 2 to make it a 20-point lead. Same play, pretty much. Down to the goal line they go. This time Jeff Fuller makes the catch, and just like that, Calgary has its second 2-point convert of the game. And it's now a 23-3 lead.
That's just too easy. To walk in, following the big boys, and then here, just too much cushion by Winnipeg down the goal line. That's pitch and a catch. That's 100% every time.
Brian Moniz, the 26-year-old from Hawaii.
Cali Cash. Hey, keep fighting, Dad. Keep fighting.
Pretty Good special he's got going. Scores lots of touchdowns. Takes it in from the 1.
Plays fast, too. When I've seen him play, just not in short yardage situation, plays fast. Great story. Got a young family. Having some success in Calgary. Why not? Dave Dickinson's your offensive coordinator. John Hufnuggle's your head coach. You got studs in front of you, and Mitchell and Tate. Have some fun.
There's Studemeyer from his 10-yard line. And Studemeyer fights his way close to the 40. And Robert Marv comes on his team now, down by 20 with 9 to go in the third quarter. What are you looking for from the young quarterback, Matt?
Well, I'm looking for him to attack this defense. Attack them down the football field. It's all been short passes to the area outside or in the flat areas. And it's just, they haven't been aggressive at all. And now they're in a situation down by 20 where they're going to have to be, so that plays into Calgary Stampeders' hands.
Trying to set up the screen, nothing doing there as Freddie Bishop got in quickly. So Robert Marv's college career was a long and winding one. Began at the University of Miami. He transferred out of there after 1 year, went to Purdue, so had to sit out. First of all, he redshirt as a freshman, then 1 year, then sit out a year. So basically then, because of injuries, he was awarded another year of eligibility. He spent 6 years in college.
Yeah, first year at Miami, he's redshirted. Second year, he comes back, gains a starter's job, goes 6-5. The last regular season of the game, Ja'Cory Harris, Hamilton Tiger-Cat quarterback, backup quarterback, takes his spot that game and for the bowl game. And from that point forward, Marv was headed to Purdue.
And now he's headed back to the turf. The 5th sack of the game is turned in by the Calgary Stampeders. The Bluebirds are out now in Winnipeg as Brandon Boudreau has the sack. That's his first of the game and first of the year.
Well, coming into the ball game, Winnipeg offensive line, who last year was dead last and giving up sacks, was 71. They've given up 26, 4 in the first half, and now that one here, it's just piling up. And it's tee-off time for the Calgary Stampeder defense. And
Arlahu now back to punt. Brown stands at his 30-yard line. From the 23, here comes Brown. Flag is down. And Brown bounced off a couple of tackles and gets out to the 38-yard line. So Bo Levi Mitchell with a 20-point lead comes back on the field. Let's join Sarah Orleski.
Well, Gord, I spoke to Bo Levi Mitchell yesterday, and he told me that one of the things that he worked on in this offseason was taking a page out of J.J. Watt's book of trying to become a better overall athlete. To that end, he took up the sport of squash. So I asked why squash. He said he'd played tennis before, but it's not a confined court in tennis. You can lose the tennis ball. He enjoyed squash. He says it helps with hand-eye coordination, foot speed, and one of his opponents during the offseason, none other than his offensive coordinator, Dave Dickinson. I asked him how it went, and Bo said you would think that I was the 40-year-old out there.
Dave Dickinson's still a pretty good athlete, sneaky good athlete.
It was sneaky. It was a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he was sneaky out there. You know, you would give him a little bit of space, and he'd knife you with his legs, and typically you'd thinking Dave Dickinson's going to just destroy you with precision passing and accuracy, which he did. But, boy, he was very underrated athletically as well.
Gives to Harrison on first down, and he's wrapped up that by Westerman. The thing about Bo Levi Mitchell, Matt, is he's only 25. This is 4th year in the league.
Yeah, and I listened to him handle himself in the media scrums and talking to folks, and he's like a seasoned vet, the way he carries himself and the way he answers questions, and he's very composed, very confident, and I expect that coming from Katy, Texas, and that environment that he grew up in down there, and I like everything about that kid and what he brings to the table.
Mitchell has time, throws over the middle, incomplete for Marquay McDaniel, and Calgary will have to kick. So we talk about Robert Marv being a young quarterback. He's a year older than Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, but a lot less experience with the real bullets flying. But I just find it interesting how all these quarterbacks overlap and somehow know each other, compete against one another, and the stories that we come across week in, week out. And this whole Ja'Cory Harris one for me is just mind blower. These guys crossed paths some 5-6 years ago in Miami, and Ja'Cory took his job and was falling out between head coach Shannon and Marv, and he moved forward to Purdue and blows out his ACL 3 times.
Stood down on the kick return, gets up the sidelines, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will have good field position when we come back, but they'll run into a stout Calgary defense led by middle linebacker Juwan Simpson. Back with more on the CFL on TSN right after this. So Juwan Simpson was up to his usual tricks in the pregame, having a conversation with Chris Randall, other members of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The officials had to come in and separate them before things got going. This is before the coin toss. He's a vocal, inspirational guy, and that inspiration works on both sides of the ball.
But I look up to Juwan. I really do. The way that he's able to grab somebody's ear, and when he talks, when he speaks to a team or anybody on the team, you listen. He's just a motivational guy. He's a guy that is going to leave his body out there on the field, and he's always the guy giving us a speech going out there to begin the game. When he does it, man, guys get hyped. You might not be ready, you might not be confident or something, but as soon as he starts talking, you feel like you're ready to play that game.
So now Winnipeg with the ball at the Calgary 31-yard line after the Stoudemire return and a chance to get back in the football game. 5 receivers set. And they give it up to Cameron Marshall, the first down carry, and Marshall fights his way for 8 yards down to the 23-yard line.
There you go. Give it to the big boy. Absolutely love that kid. 52 rushes, 244 yards coming into the ball game, couple touchdowns, averages almost 5 yards a carry. Why not? Help the young quarterback out, establish the line of scrimmage. Teams and defense doing everything they can.
Marcus a gain of 7, 2nd and 3. And now it's tripping and falling on the play is Marshall. It'll be a loss of 3. And Calgary, or Winnipeg rather, will have to send the field goal unit on.
Well, just a nice play. This play was going nowhere fast. I can tell you why. Because Quinn Smith's going to cross the face of the offensive lineman is trying to block for him, and he right there. He's in the backfield already. That was just a nice job by the big man in the middle, Quinn Smith from Concordia. And that's probably why Canada tripped, because he saw that happening.
So
300 pounds crossing the face of your right guard trying to get his hat in the hole, and it wasn't happening.
Now a 36-yard field goal try. And Hairolahu puts it up and good. The first points for Winnipeg since the opening moments of the first half. And so now Winnipeg down by 17. But you saw Quinn Smith make that play a moment ago. John Hufnagel is a terrific head coach, but this organization in Calgary is really one that is the hallmark of stability. Here are the drafted players in Calgary's lineup tonight, picked since 2010. 16 players in total are in the lineup. 7 of them are starting.
Yeah, and I'm hats off to a guy, and I'm going to give him a lot of credit here, and that's their director of player personnel, assistant general manager, John Murphy. He's been with him for 8 seasons, and that guy can find some talent.
You know as well as anyone, Matt, you win with Canadian talent in the CFL, and they've been as good or better than anyone the last few years in not just finding it, but developing it. Now they start first down at the 35-yard line. Ball moved by Mitchell looking for Fuller. He's got it. And a first down in the Winnipeg territory at the 50-yard line. A pickup of 25 yards.
I love the protection on this, and I love the throw, and I love the route, the anticipation. Just everything came together on that play. That's offensive football. We hadn't seen of it. First of all, protection. Pickup on the stunt. Nice job. Bo Levi, small little area to work within. The ball's out right now. Here it comes. Fuller secures it. Well done. About time to see it. Like to see more of it. Here's
Harrison on the first down carry, and Harrison squirts free, picks up 8. as he gets down to the 44-yard line. Just seems like whoever Calgary loses, it's next man up.
And the championship teams at the end of the year that hoist the Grey Cup, typically that's what they're preaching. You know, they've overcome adversity better than the other teams throughout the league and found the players to make the plays consistently. And that's what we see a 6-2 football team doing right now, the Calgary Stampeders.
And here's Harrison trying to bounce it outside. He won't get there. Randall makes the tackle. And it'll be third down for Calgary.
That's the stop they needed, Gord, right there big time, because they pick up that first down, keeping this drive alive and having more possibility, more points to put on the board. And Winnipeg bowed its neck right there. And
interesting, Matt, that Huffnagel does not like to try long field goals. This would be a 52-yard try, which is well within the range of Rennie Paredes, but he elects not to and will punt instead.
Yeah, put your defense out there. Let Rich Stuber's boys, his defensive philosophy, just go out there and work their magic. Not like Winnipeg's been lighting it up or flipping the field.
And Maver kind of punched 9 irons that out of bounds at the 14-yard line. And time now to take a look at the sack attack, brought to you by Purolator. Tackling hunger, a promise we can all help deliver. Calgary's got 5 sacks on the day today, 23 now. Winnipeg with 19. The problem for the Bombers is the difference for them is they've allowed 12 more sacks this year than they have inflicted on the opposition.
That's 31 in total. Remember, 71 was the worst in the league last year. And it's tough on quarterbacks. You look pretty average when you're throwing out your back foot and trying to block for those guys up front.
With a play fake on first down, wants to throw and does. And the pass is caught by Nick Moore out across the 20 to 23, but a yard short of a Winnipeg first down.
Yeah, Marcel Belfay mixing things up there, getting his mobile, athletic quarterback on the edge and giving those guys up front a better chance to be successful as opposed to goes to 50 pro 24/7. 50 pro is when you quarterback is 7 yards deep right behind this offensive line, and they got to protect that spot. Move the launching point, and it helps the big boys up front.
Give it off to Marshall, and Marshall's got a first down and more across the 30. Gets to the 32-yard line. Marshall last week, Matt, led Winnipeg, or last game against Toronto, led the Bombers in both rushing yards and receiving yards.
I think he's a quality football back. Solid blocker, good hands, hits the whole heart.
That was the first down of the second half for Winnipeg. And now Marv stands in, looking deep for more, and that pass is incomplete. He was double covered to the play. Josh Bell was there along with Joe Burnett. He'll bring up second down.
Yeah, here's the situation. You know, you asked me, Gordon, what I'd like to see the young quarterback do in their second half, and I said be aggressive, attack the defense, but he chooses the wrong guy. He looks left, and then he thinks he's going to have it right. He throws into double coverage, and that is not open. The play was to the field side where he looked the first time, and he didn't pull the trigger, didn't trust his eyes. And that's experience. He was thinking that by looking left, he was going to hold the man over the top and he'd have one-on-one opportunity with Nick Moore to the boundary. Well, it never happened. It never happened. And he threw blindly into double coverage.
Here comes a blitz from Juwan Simpson, and Marv is under pressure, got away. He got whacked and throws the ball away. And once again, Brandon Boudreau, who's back in the Calgary lineup, is all over the Winnipeg quarterback.
They're just feasting on an offensive line and a young quarterback trying to figure it out right now. And Robert just tapped his shoulder pads and said it was on me. And, you know, you can't fabricate things out there. It's either there or it's not. You eliminate it. He looked left on the 1st and 10 ball and then threw into double coverage, and that got him in trouble in a hurry.
Flag is down. Big kick knocks Brown back to his 25-yard line. And Brown gets out to the 35. Now, it was 3rd and 10. call appears to be against Winnipeg.
Yeah, it looks like a holding on them as it was a jailbreak to Pavralahu,
and I believe Winnipeg's going to make their Calgary rather is going to make Winnipeg kick again.
Holding Winnipeg, number 39. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Do it over again.
Yeah, it was a jailbreak, and he had to hold, though. That ball was being blocked, and I like the idea of making him punt again. Pavralahu has had a good good ball game punting the football here. He's had to do it several times. I like Tim Brown. If you watch Tim Brown on this, folks, watch what he does. He doesn't mess around going from sideline to sideline. He catches most everything in the air, which saves you yards, and he gets north and south and gets upfield. I love that about Tim Brown.
Let's go, team. Easy, tight. Easy. Hey,
It'd be a real surprise if Tim doesn't catch this one in the air and go north-south.
45-yard line. Up he goes, and Brown gets close to midfield for out of bounds at the 54. And the third quarter has come to an end. The Calgary Stampeders have extended their lead here. Kirker was going to fool them, but interceptions have been a big story, including that one by Jamar Wall for a touchdown. Calgary leads by 17 as we go to the fourth quarter. Through 3 quarters of play, here are the numbers here in Winnipeg, and you can see Winnipeg, which is 90 total yards, only 9 in that third quarter.
What?
Turnovers.
9?
9.
That's pretty much where we're at in this football game. It's been about defense. Even Calgary's offense only had 75 that quarter. And the defense is flexing its muscles. But I'm afraid right now for Robert Marv moving forward in the last 15 minutes. He's in a catch-up mode, and this football team just hasn't shown any type of offensive continuity to put points on the board. And Calgary's, I think, is going to pin the ears back and just continue to try to bait him and jump everything that comes out of his hand.
You know, this Calgary defense so underrated. Really shouldn't be. You talk about Bo Levi Mitchell and the great Calgary offense, of course, and John Cornish when he's in there. But this Calgary defense got the job done in the playoffs last year, and of course, in the Grey Cup game. Now on first down, a fake to Parker, and put it back underneath, and off and running is Lamar Durant, and Durant still going. I don't know where he's going. The 23-yard line. How about that? So they fake it to Anthony Parker. Give it off to Lamar Durant, the second-round pick in the 2015 draft, and to Simon Fraser. Off he goes for a gain of 33.
Oh, this is nice little misdirection, and I talked about Durant earlier, just big. I'm talking about 6'2", 230 plus, and he's a big body running free there, just all over the place, kind of serpentining down the football field. I love it.
It actually goes into the books as a pass, Matt, because they always shoveled forward.
As a receiver, I'm sure that Durant would like that.
Sure. On first down, Bo Levi Mitchell with Fuller. Touchdown! What a catch by Jeff Fuller. Unbelievable how Fuller juggled and hung on. The officials say he did catch it. There's a flag down, though.
I apologize if I scared anybody listening to the game, but I saw a jailbreak, and the throw was unbelievable because this ball was out 10 yards before Fuller even broke on his route, and Bo Levi spots this, and then Fuller turns around and sticks up his left hand and just makes a tremendous catch. But credit the throw and the offensive line. And Harrison, look at that block right there, and free safety Leggett coming. Well, if we can get you an all-24 shot, you might be able to see the perspective that I saw and how the anticipation from Bo Levi Mitchell making his 26th start spotted that ball perfectly from the receiver from Texas A&M, Jeff Fuller.
Who caught the back stripe of the football to start with, juggled it.
That was sick.
Second touchdown catch of the year for Fuller. And the Stampeders have run the lead to 24, a 30-6 lead. Bo Levi Mitchell hooks up with Jeff Fuller. And Calgary's rolling once again in Winnipeg, trying to make it 6 straight wins in the Manitoba capital.
talked about it on the corner in the third quarter that they threw together and the timing. And here, great pickup by the offensive line and Harris, the running back, the anticipation of the throw, and then the athletic ability on the end of it from Fuller to squeeze it right there, tapping it in his hands, and that's just gorgeous. I was excited about that one because of the anticipation. Just unbelievable by young quarterback spotting that ball perfectly to his big receiver.
Veltong on the kickoff return from the 5-yard line. And Veltong out to the 24. So a quiet crowd here in Winnipeg so far moving into the evening. And Bo Levi Mitchell talked to us yesterday about dealing with crowd noise and loving the silence.
When you have an entire, 30,000 fans chirping you, all week they've been on Twitter, on everything, chirping, saying how good they are and what they're going to do to you and how you're not going to do anything. And all of a sudden you make those plays where they just can't say anything. They can't think of words to say. It's the greatest feeling there is. It's the best noise there is in football.
The sound of silence.
Here's Robert Marv on first down, throws. Nick Moore, the catch, up to the 30-yard line for a gain of 6.
I agree with Bo. It's the support and excitement and the noise and the atmosphere that's created at home is crazy, and you feed off it. Football is an emotional sport. You go on the road, and to be able to silence a crowd like this in hostile territory, I'm with Bo Levi. There's nothing better than being able to do that.
Quiet now for the offense as Marv throws. It's batted down. That was knocked down right at the line. I think Micah Johnson got a piece of that, and the cowbells have gone silent here in Winnipeg.
Yeah, not a lot of ringing going on right now.
So the Bombers are 6-16 in the stadium, Matt, since it opened, and in danger of falling to 6-17.
That's a good looking cowbell right there. That one doesn't look like it's been used much, and it really hasn't.
That's high end right there.
That one's like pristine, fresh out of the box.
Micah Johnson, by the way, who knocked the ball down as the injured Calgary Stampeder.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's like here right now, and this is what Bo Levi's talking about. Nothing better than doing that. Hostile territory, come in here and making them go silent.
Now, did you ever jaw with fans? Did you ever say anything to fans in the stands?
Up shot. You can actually carry on a conversation with people up in the third deck, because you can hear them. It was, no, I never engaged in the fans. Only in fun. Only chunking a football after you scored.
So a punting situation again for Ira Lahu, and now Winnipeg faces the Labor Day week home and home with Saskatchewan starting in Regina next Sunday. Ira Lahu's going to throw. No. Pulls it back down, gets a good kick away, chases Brown back inside his 40-yard line.
Way downfield.
And a flag comes down late as Brown goes out of bounds close to the 50-yard line, a 43-yard punt. 36 Calgary with the lead. Back with more after this.
Go on that Red River a little later on a pontoon boat with Saco.
You going?
Yeah. I don't think so, Gore. I think you're not going to get some dinner. I'm going to leave that to Saco tonight.
Yeah?
I'm heading to Dallas tomorrow. I'm going to go see my family, my baby girl.
First down, Calgary. Bo Levi Mitchell tosses it off to Harrison. And Torrey Harrison leaps to midfield, lost the ball. And the Bombers say they've recovered it. But they're going to mark this, I believe, as down by contact right at the midfield stripe.
2nd and 5. Yeah, it just pops right out as soon as the ball hits the ground. His elbow right here goes up, and then it's out.
Hang on.
I think he might have hit his.
Hang on a second. The ground can make you fumble, and hang on a second. Well, no challenge. 2nd and 5. Mitchell. The Looking over the top, but he's got a catch by Eric Rogers, and Rogers down to the 25-yard line. And Eric Rogers has a gain of 30 yards and another Calgary first down.
Again, more anticipation from Bo Levi Mitchell, finding one of his big targets down the football field and spotting the football beautifully. Little point fake, balls out with confidence and throws him open. Doesn't wait till he's open, throws him to a spot, lets his receiver work to it and get yards after the catch.
7 catches, 152 yards for Rogers, but no touchdowns so far this evening. Give it off to Parker. Around he goes on the end. Anthony Parker inside the 10. He got corralled there by Bruce Johnson, who probably saved the touchdown. The gain is 16.
That play has worked well for them. A few times that they've run it, utilizing Anthony's speed. Played with his dad back in the day.
His dad, the legendary James Quick Parker.
No, Anthony Parker. Yeah, and this is just, yeah, it's just passed down from one generation to the next. Anthony Parker to Anthony Parker. Speed. That's something that didn't happen in my family, Gord. My dad was fast. My older brother Scott was fast. My younger brother Danny was super fast. My kids are fast. Me, not so much.
Leggett being checked out on the field. And we'll step away for a moment and return to Winnipeg in a moment. So Maurice Leggett makes his way off after locking knees with a teammate on the tackle.
And you see it happening right there. Right in there.
So first down Calgary from the Winnipeg 9. Mitchell looking at Rogers all the way, throws it up in the end zone. It's incomplete. And a very late flag comes down in the end zone. Damon Washington was there on the coverage.
It's on the offense.
Rogers has that streak of 6 consecutive games with at least a touchdown catch. Trying to make it 7 tonight.
I think Bo Levi was trying to get Rogers.
Offensive pass interference. Calgary, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first
so they call Rogers.
Yeah, I think he locked in on him because he had other guys open, but he's right here. He's going to run a corner in the process. Kind of gets tangled up with the DB in front of him right here. They kind of lock legs. DB center field turning, and Rogers kind of puts his hand down so he doesn't stumble. He gets called for the penalty.
Now first and goal from the 19. Mitchell trying to find McDaniel. That's picked off, is it? No, they call it incomplete. As Bruce Johnson could not keep it off the turf. It'll bring up second down for Calgary.
Yeah, Bo's thinking the receiver's going to do one thing. He breaks out and he throws in, and that ball's almost picked off.
Second and goal from the 19. 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Mike O'Shea's team has lost 4 of its last 5 games. Trying to avoid the kind of slide that really torpedoed their season a year ago.
Well, they're going to 3-6 here halfway through the season. They got to turn around. Saskatchewan's still in play, Gord.
Again, play called before the ball is snapped.
Those games are going to prove to be real interesting in the next couple of weeks.
Violation. Calgary, number 19. 5-yard penalty remains second down.
Winnipeg Sask. Winnipeg takes both of those.
Last year,
they're right back in it.
Winnipeg lost 8 in a row after that tremendous start. So now it's second and goal from the 24.
Screen. I think a screen is this play call screaming screen to me. Depends on what the defense gives them. If it gives them an opportunity to put it up top, you're going to take it, but in a draw play.
And Harrison Gets not much, fights his way down to the 20-yard line, and so the field goal unit will come on for Calgary after the gain of 4.
Yep, screen or draw, both those plays are same mindset. You use them in the same situations. Defense drops off in the zone coverage, not going to let you get anything over the top, so you throw it underneath on a screen, or you run a draw and try to create what you can.
You got Ottawa playing Saskatchewan tomorrow afternoon, and then it's on to Labor Day, and fascinating battles. The 6-3 Ticats, the 6-3 Argos.
That'd be good.
And potentially the 7-2 Stampeders against the 6-3 Edmonton Eskimos.
That'd be good too.
And Paredes puts it on through. Well, we talk about this time of the year. It means Labor Day football. It also means the 135th U.S. Open begins Monday. First round action, the final Grand Slam of the year begins at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on TSN. Serena Williams goes for the season Grand Slam, having captured the Australian, French Open, and Wimbledon titles. And we're going to see, I believe, Brian Braum come on for Winnipeg at quarterback in place of Robert Marv. Marv 12 of 19 for 93 yards, 2 interceptions on the so far. And so in comes Braum, who took over for Drew Willie at first when Willie got hurt. 4 interceptions against no touchdown passes so far this year. And a toss goes to Velton, and Velton right across the 40, gets stacked up there. As Keon Raymond got a hand on him. And Junior Turner helped out as well. So now, here's the question, Matt. With Drew Willie going to be out at least another month, it looks like, for Winnipeg, who starts next week in Regina? In the back left there is Drew Willie, still on crutches. As they dive ahead and pick up the first down. Who started? Buck Pierce in the bottom left. Maybe, part of the coaching staff.
Maybe that guy right there.
So who would you start next week?
I'd go right back to the kid. He's just learning the game. I've seen enough of this. I'd go right back to 16. He's just learning the game. Call a different game plan to be more aggressive early with him. But I credit Calgary Stampeders because, like you said, the defending Grey Cup champions defensively. They got it done tonight and really made it tough on the Winnipeg offense. I don't care who's out there. Drew Willie was out there. It may be a different story, but young kid and Robert Marv's learning the game, and they weren't very aggressive early, trying to push the ball down the field and throwing everything underneath. In Calgary, that plays into Rich Stuber's defensive mindset. Bend, don't break, and rally the football, and he's got the horses on the defensive side of the ball to get that done.
That's Denmark the catch, a gain of 7. And here is Tyler Thomas, the first down and more. Tyler Thomas fights his way down into Calgary territory, down to the 43-yard line, a gain of 14. There's lots of time here, 6:45 to go.
This is Calgary is just kind of bending, not breaking here. I'm not saying that they've taken their foot off the gas pedal, but consciously, but subconsciously, they're just kind of just playing this one out here. Don't let this fool you if you're a Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan and you see some progress here with them pushing the ball down the field.
High pass from Marshall, almost intercepted. A flag comes down late.
Juwan Simpson's going to be called. Maybe not. He and Pontbriand were going at it.
Holding. Winnipeg, number 39. 10-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Repeat, first down.
That's because Juwan Simpson was flying up the middle, right over the center, and just makes a nice move. And Pontbriand's trying to protect Brian Braum, and there's Juwan. He's going to run right over Pontbriand. Little spin move, beautiful. A takedown by Pontbriand trying to protect his quarterback.
First and 20 for Braum and the Winnipeg offense. Stands in and throws, and one hop set for Rory Kollert. And they're not happy here in Winnipeg.
Well, you know, Marv Doesn't do a lot offensively. Braun comes in, throws a couple passes, and gets booed. I think Winnipeg fan base has made it clear who they want to play next week.
Second and 20, four-man rush. Braun stands and throws, and again it skips for the intended receiver, Nick Moore. And it's getting nasty here now. For some reason, since this place opened, the Bombers have just not been able to take advantage of this beautiful new park.
Guy's looking at his watch, thinking if he can catch a late movie Saturday night.
Ira Lahu towers that punt. Brown inside the 10, and he's taken down hard on a special teams tackle by Derek Jones. So Jones comes in and makes the stop on special teams, number 41.
That's hustle. That's hustle. I mean, that's what you want to see. Down 27. Kid just flying around, making good things happen. We'll be talking about that in video study tomorrow. Watching Derek Jones fly down, putting the effort forward, effort to win football games, and not coasting and mailing it in. Derek Jones, it's not in his DNA.
And so now we got Drew Tate on for Calgary as Bo Levi Mitchell. We've got a rest of the Calgary sidelines, and Drew Tate, who's seen limited action so far this year, hands it off to Torrey Harrison. And again, Matt, just to reiterate, this is a Calgary team with an offensive line that has, of the 5, 3 are in their first or second year. They've got 5 offensive linemen on IR. John Cornish, arguably the best player in the league, is on IR. And they're about to run their record to 7-2.
And that's pedigree. And that is depth. It's John Murphy, John Huffnagel. That's defending Grey Cup champions. Exercising their depth and finding ways to get it done through adversity. Well on their way to the playoffs and establishing dominance again in the West.
And they're going to hand off at the end of this year. John Huffnagel will
Calgary number 66.
give way as the head coach to Dave Dickinson.
Second down.
Good luck, by the way, getting Huffnagel to talk about that.
Yeah, I talked to Dave Dickinson about it, so I just circumvented the system. I talked to Dave about it. I said, "What are you going to do next year? Are you going to call plays?" And you know, he had interesting thoughts. He said, "You know, if I get the same budget, I did the same budget as Huffnagel, you know, because he's not going anywhere." And so that's something that you have to consider about whether or not he's able to afford to bring in an offensive coordinator, because they're still the same coaches, you know, people just moving around, but still has the same amount of pieces. And so I thought it was a great point by Dave, but he did tell me that it's going to be awfully hard for him to give up on play calling next year.
Harrison gets out across the 10-yard line. Another flag comes down.
He said that he had a couple of guys in mind. I said, guys currently in the league? He said, yeah, maybe. So I think he's got some options down south and certainly here in the league with current
You know what,
candidates.
Matt? Go old school. Let Bo Levi Mitchell call his own plays.
Well, you know, I'm all for that.
Holding Calgary number 66.
Who was the last quarterback that called his own plays?
I can't tell you, but I know I enjoyed doing that with my career, 13 out of 14 years, and Jackie Parker gave me the reins, and a lot of people argue the game's changed and there's more on the line, and I'm not sure about that, but I think he's capable of doing it. I think there's many quarterbacks in the league that are capable of assuming that responsibility, and you know, it's just whether or not a coordinator or a head coach is going to relinquish that duty. And right now, Dave Dickinson loves calling plays, and he's very, very good at it. When he's head coach next year, even if he does bring in an offensive coordinator, I think he'd probably call his own plays.
Timeout.
Why not?
Calgary.
He's one of the best at it. He's got a great mind for the game, and it's just a great environment there with Huff, Dickey, Tate, Mitchell, Moniz, and it's just it's a great environment for quarterbacks and offensive-minded type of game. And then you got Rich Stuber controlling everything on the defense side of the ball. giving his guys the opportunity to do what they do, and it's all because this guy hires good people, puts them around him. There's Stubes right there.
Rich Stubler was out of work about 10 minutes after he was let go in BC.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you're snatching him up because you know you can entrust that guy right there with your defense and let him go do his thing, and they're going to be gold. Done it everywhere he's been.
The neighbor now to punt from his end zone. Watch Hopney will give up 2 here. Yeah, in a 33-6 game, Hopnagel still playing the chess match. Neighbor goes out of bounds. And Winnipeg's got 8.
Well, that just messed somebody's over-under up right there.
Hey, go to tsn.ca/CFL Fantasy. Set your roster a chance to win a trip to the Grey Cup and a Joseph Abood suit for Moores. Every bit counts. Make yours today. So now a 33-8 game. Let that guy go. Oh, the bubbles up there. Look at that, man. That's hardcore, man. Are they beer bubbles or just bubbles?
I'm just thinking they're just happy to be here right now, enjoying a beautiful Saturday evening. Team's not playing very well, but like you said, a gorgeous stadium. Plenty of food and beverage available.
The scaffolding's going up for the Grey Cup game. The seats in the south end will be installed over the next few weeks. So Braun remains in at quarterback. At the 35-yard line, throws, and again the pass skips short, looking for Rory Kohler.
You know that Brian did not get many reps this week or during the bye week. They're trying to tune up the young quarterback, and so you're probably not going to see a high execution rate right here. And it doesn't bode well for Brian because he was not in the good graces of his fan base to begin with.
Braun throwing over the top, and the pass is incomplete for Nick Moore. And Winnipeg will be forced to punt again.
Again, double coverage on a deep ball that the quarterbacks of Winnipeg are throwing into, and pressure off the edge. Brandon Boudreau. Double coverage right there as the corner falls back underneath it. They're just pot hanging now.
Brown sees that go out of bounds, or did it? He went to pick it up, but Keon Raymond actually got it.
Keon not done
Did that
running.
not go out of bounds? There's a flag down where the ball went down. If that ball went straight out of bounds, it's a penalty against Calgary for an illegal kick.
It's Hiralahu-who's 10th punt of the night, too,
so let's see if Hiralahu-who's kick actually did go out of bounds. And that's in bounds.
That's in bounds. Official's right on top of it. He's right there. No yards is called right there. Keon Raymond gets a little nice return. He's got a workout in tonight. 10th punt of the evening. He's punted well tonight, too. I thought the teams was better for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Just couldn't put any offense together.
Drew Tate remains in at quarterback and hands it off to Brown, who stays in with the offense. And he gets down to the 43-yard line for a gain of 7. The 3-minute warning has arrived, and not a moment too soon. 33-8 is the score. The Nissan Titan Player of the Game is brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. And for it, we go to Eric Rogers, who found the end zone. That was for 2, but he has been a very busy player today, as he has been since coming on the scene late last year for the Calgary Stampeders.
I know our newcomer in the set there, Mike Benavides, is probably just cringing right now that an offensive player got player of the game in this ball game. I can say, Benny, I feel you on that one. This has been a tremendous effort defensively.
Tate throwing to the sidelines, and the pass is caught by Greg Wilson. So we were showing Bo Levi Mitchell and Rogers, and both. Okay, don't give him the player of the game, not me.
Well, I mean, Bo and his big receivers are working some magic, and he spotted the ball really nicely, particularly here in the second half. Giving those guys a chance to do some damage after catching the football by throwing them open, and it's a thing of beauty watching that happen. But this game was all about defense for Calgary, taking advantage of a young quarterback.
Brown back in a tailback. Takes a couple of shots and gets a couple of yards down to the 35-yard line. The clock still running at 2 minutes. So how does it stack up for you looking ahead to Labor Day, Edmonton and Calgary at McMahon Stadium a week from Monday?
Well, I like it. You know, I think Edmonton got embarrassed 2 weeks ago by Hamilton in their own backyard, and then they played up to snuff and played with a little more intensity.
Now James Franklin coming off that great first start.
I'm telling you, I can say this right now. It's a great opportunity to talk about that kid real quick. I played with Warren in 1983, and I can honestly say this kid has got that silky smoothness about him, just like Warren Moon had. And I love his leadership skills and the way he handles himself within that environment. And I think that football team has found them another special quarterback.
They've had a few over the years. Well, Levi Mitchell's no slouch himself, so
moves to what, 22 and 4?
Yeah, it's pretty good as a starter.
He's right there behind Jackie, who's 22 and 3 in his first 25. Jackie Parker, I'm talking about. One of my favorites of all time, if not most favorite.
Tate throws it out there for Lamar Durant. And Durant fights inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line.
I'm impressed with Durant. Big body kid, like I said, third time tonight. I'll say it again. 6'2", about 230 plus. And
second-round pick of the 2015 draft. One of 16 players we talked about earlier on the Calgary roster drafted by the Stampeders.
You dug that one up, and that's just a tremendous stat. And proof in the pudding. Second time I've said that tonight about how this football team is made up.
And Brown getting a chance to be part of the offense here. Goes down to the 6-yard line. So our TSN decision desk will put this one in the books for the Calgary Stampeders. Move them to 7-2. What's interesting about this, Matt, is Saskatchewan's 0-8. But playing Ottawa tomorrow, if Saskatchewan can win that one, then you've got back-to-back against Winnipeg.
That's what I said earlier. And the games next week and the following week, Labor Day game and Banjo Bowl, those things are so meaningful, and Saskatchewan's right back in it. Just crazy.
And so this week in the Canadian Football League wraps up tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, with John Chick in Saskatchewan against Greg Ellington in Ottawa. And Saskatchewan, which has really found more ways to lose than you can imagine. Close games, late in games, overtime.
Talented football team, just hadn't found a way to win, been finding ways to lose. That picture of Greg Ellington right there, that kid right there from Tampa, Florida, has had a tremendous football season thus far, playing solid football for the Red Blacks.
Brandon Paradise is going to kick a 12-yard field goal. And so Calgary, which has had lots of close wins this year, gets to breathe easy with a 36-8 lead. Dickinson smiling. Huff doesn't smile much on the sideline. John Huffnagel still pretty stoic.
Well, he's got a lot on his mind. It's just not about W's. He's thinking about players that are down, players that are hurt. He's thinking about formulations. He's thinking about ratio. He's thinking about next week. He's thinking about 2-3 weeks down the road. He's thinking about people he's got to sign, his neg list. He's thinking about a lot of different things on the sideline.
And he worked for Bill Belichick. So, you know, don't smile.
Well, I just there's a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, and you know, he'll relax and enjoy this one. I'll probably be on a flight home with him tomorrow. I'm going to catch a flight to Calgary and then to Dallas, and maybe be able to chat with him. But I guarantee it, he's got a lot on his mind.
And for Winnipeg, it's now 5 losses in the last 6. The Bombers will drop to 3-6. on to Saskatchewan next week. And so Calgary sweeps the season series. The first one 26-25. Tonight much more one-sided. 36-8. Calgary has won 6 in a row here in Winnipeg. Haven't lost here in 6+ years.
Every day.
For Matt Dunnigan, Sarah Lesky, all of us at TSN, I'm Gordon Miller. Now send it back to the panel.